Hello, hello. Hello, replay people. Just waiting for my audience to arrive. I've been going on Facebook first, right before my show, like 5-10 minutes before I schedule this show, so that I can tell my Facebook people to come on over to YouTube and watch over here. Because Facebook does me no favors. I don't feel like spending any time on Facebook anymore because I just get kicked in the teeth for that. Especially when, let's not forget, Zuckerberg's in the Epstein files. Oh, yes, he is. I don't know exactly how he is, but I'm gonna look it up quick. We know there's pictures of him with Jeffrey. I'll wait for people. So many famous people in the Epstein files. Ooh, this is a good one, and it comes from MSN. You know, the funniest thing for me to see is that the mainstream outlets are now covering the Epstein files. Okay, this is pretty good. Mark Zuckerberg's wild dinner with Epstein revealed in files. I'm just going to start reading it. This is for the replay people, till people start coming on. Jeffrey Epstein described a dinner with Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg as wild, quote unquote, in an email included in the latest dump of files connected to the convicted sex offender. In response to an August 20th, 2015 email from billionaire Tom Pritzker, cousin of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, about his availability, Epstein wrote, "Not sure yet. I had dinner with Zuckerberg, Musk, Theo Hoffman, Wild," also referencing Tesla and ex-CEO Elon Musk. Didn't Musk tell us that Trump was in the files? Palantir co-founder and first outside investor in Facebook, by the way, Peter Thiel, and LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman. The Daily Beast has contacted representatives for Zuckerberg, Thiel, and Pritzker for comment. I don't think they've gotten anything. Oh, and wait, the email is included in the Department of Justice's files on Epstein, more of which were released on Friday following an initial release in December. New details from the millions of pages are still coming to light. Oh, aren't they such? Hoffman sent a follow-up email to Zuckerberg and Epstein a few days after the dinner with the subject line, "Intros," according to the files. Jeffrey Suck, he wrote. Email connections from the Ed Boyden dinner so that convo can continue. The uncovered files also revealed several emails Epstein wrote about Zuckerberg, including about his marriage to Priscilla Chan. "Can't believe it and so sad. I could be instead of her." What? And joking that Zuckerberg deserved the Nobel Peace Prize for the Arabic revolutions, a reference to the Arab Spring in which Facebook was heavily utilized by activists to organize protests and raise awareness. And how well did that work out for them? Not very well. So hello, everybody. I'm just going off into the weeds over here. I am completely fascinated with the Epstein files. I can't get enough. Hey, Surfboard. There's Darla. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Rachel. And then people asking weird questions. Hi, Fred. Hi, Donna. I feel like what was her name? Like Miss Julie from Romper Room. I see you. Hi, Dutch. Hey, Joyce. Good. Everybody good's on. Hey, Mark. Who else? We have some people we have to get rid of already. Yeah. The crazies are coming out of the woodwork every day. But you know what? It's kind of funny because do they not realize that they show us who they are? We see these people and they are literally defending criminals or just saying ridiculous things. And it's like, you know, what's wrong with you? Anyway, here on the Beach Report, by the way, I'll just have to let you know there are rules, and I do have great moderators who protect me from all the nasties in the chat. So if you come on and feel like you're going to be a jerk, you know, you get to be a jerk once, and then someone will kick you out. Thank you so much, Barb. Greatly, greatly appreciate you, and greatly appreciate everybody who supports the Beach Report. You guys are super important to me and to the rest of us because we are a family. We are family. I got all my friends and me. Thank you, Darla. What's 067? You're killing me, Darla. You're the funniest. No, Annie, nobody can mess with you, my girl. Nobody. And nobody can mess with me either because we're not afraid of anyone or anything. Especially now that the creeps are coming out, and you can tell it's just like, hi, Chris. Everybody is just showing how nuts they are and how full of the crazies, right? Yes, we're the strong people. We are the champions, my friends. And we'll keep on fighting till the end. Thanks, Tanner. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. Hi, guys. Hi. I see that I've got new people coming on who don't know anything about me, and they're like, who is this wacky lady? Well, I'm Jill from the Beach Report. I have been doing the Beach Report for more than 10 years now. And I am not single, Chris. I am a widow, but my husband's in heaven. I'm still married. So not looking for any boyfriends, and I don't date. This is not a dating site. It's got nothing to do with me. It is all about you guys and us and making this world a better place. So, sorry, my nose is itchy. I'm getting over a cold right now, so you might hear a little congestion in my voice, but I do have my my hot coffee here, which I do drink with the straw in order to keep my teeth white, because that's important. So, yeah, I have a mission that has nothing to do with furthering my own social life or romance. Okay, so nobody's talking about that. If you want to talk about that, we can talk about that, but in general, because I do actually like to talk about grief and what it's like to be a widow. And I know I have widowers and widows here on my show. Oh, Joanne. Karen Carpenter. Oh my gosh, today is her passing day. February 4th, 1983. I'm gonna cry. She's like very important to me. We've only just begun to live. White lace and promises. A kiss for luck, and we're on our way. Before the rising sun, we smile. So many roads to choose. Let's start out walking and learn to run. And yes, we've just begun. Oh my gosh, I know some of you don't know her. She's old time, and you see she passed away in 1983, long before you were born, Annie. But she had the voice of an angel. She was a very amazing singer. She used to have her own group along with her brother. Her name was Karen Carpenter, and her brother's name was it John? Oh, what was the Carpenter boy's name? Nobody ever remembers him because it was all about her. Anyway, better than Whitney Houston, although Whitney also love Whitney. Richard, thank you, Lucy. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Richard, that's right. Richard Carpenter. So they were this amazing group, and they started in the 70s. They rose to fame, and just so here's the funniest thing. I have to tell you this story. When I used to work in New York City, hi Susan, Long Beach Island, Raul. Not Long Beach. Not you mean Long Beach, California, Long Beach, New York now. No, but I started my career in Long Beach Island. Anyway, I used to work in the television industry, and I was a PA. That means a production assistant. And I worked in it was a, what do you call it? So it was a big studio called National Video. If you ever see the movie Tootsie was filmed in National Video, and it looks exactly like that. At least it did in the 80s when I worked there. So anyway, I was working at National Video one day, and I was a teleprompter. That's right. I scrolled the words. And so I had run into the next studio because I heard that Phil Collins was there. And I really wanted to see Phil Collins. And he was giving an interview. And I heard him say these words: I'm just a drummer who sings. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And for many years, when I would hear, I'm just a drummer who sings, I would always attribute it to Phil Collins. And then I found out he stole that quote. He stole it from Karen Carpenter. Karen Carpenter was the original drummer who sings. So I don't know if you know that, but she started out as a drummer, and she was a good drummer. And then she became a singer, and she sang, okay, what's the song that you're going to recognize? On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair, that's right, and golden starlight in your eyes of blue. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around. Just like me, they long to be close to you. I can't even get close, and I'm all emotional about this right now. Yeah, Karen Carpenter will always be one of the greats, absolutely. And one of the greatest compliments I ever got was I was in the car with my husband before he passed away, and Karen Carpenter started singing on the radio. And my husband was Cuban, so he didn't really know the Carpenters, but he always heard me singing and everything on my shows, so he was quite familiar with the music. Anyway, a Karen Carpenter song came on the radio, and my husband said, "Oh, baby, that sounds like you." And I was like, right, that's Karen Carpenter. And he was like, no, baby, she sound like you. I'm like, no, baby, I sound like her. She was just so amazing. And when I thought, my husband thought that my voice sounded just like Karen Carpenter, I was like, wow. Anyway, yeah, Susan, you guys were there, right? Yeah, okay, so those of you who are new to the Beach Report, I go off in the weeds all the time because I am a real person with real feelings, so try to keep that in mind when you make your comments because I see them And you don't need to be rude to someone you don't know, right? But I do wish that people would treat other people, even though I am remote on a screen here. Like I said, I am still a real person. So consider that, and consider one more thing. On my show, sometimes there are teenagers watching. I actually have a group of teenagers who watch the Beach Report from England. It's a little bit, it's after their bedtime right now, so they're not on at the moment. But I do wish that you would consider that there are younger people watching the Beach Report. So try to be respectful, try to model the way that you wish that young people would be today, and everything will be good. So, hello, everybody. Welcome. I am a card-carrying journalist. I went to Ohio University Scripps School of Journalism and graduated in 1987 and began practicing the art of journalism. Ever since then, my first real job was on the Jersey Shore. Sorry, I have this cold. I need a tissue. I don't have one. It's a problem. So yeah, I've been doing this for most of my life. Sorry about the thing, the cold situation. I'm a real person. Anyway, if you love the Beach Report, please consider liking and subscribing. It's really important that people like me do get a big audience, because I am only ever going to tell you the truth. I have been, wait, you have any felines? I don't have any felines. It's funny. Why don't you just say cats? No, I don't have any animals anymore. I used to have a whole farm, and now I'm going solo on it. So I love cats. I love dogs. I love all the animals, and unfortunately, everyone has passed away. And I am left alone in the world, but I'm not really alone, because I have my show and I have you guys. So this is what I'm focused on. I am a journalist, I'm an author, I'm a book publisher, and I am 60 years old and one of the very first Gen Xers in the world. So, oh, that's interesting. You teach special needs kids, Peter. Well, we have Annie Zafiros on here, and she is the queen of special needs. She has a very rare condition, genetic condition, and she is our advocate for all special needs. So you should really look at the things that she says and maybe try to get in touch with her. She's amazing. I'm not a shaman, sorry. I wish my teeth were perfect, premium. I wish. I'm actually losing my teeth. I've lost 3 of them so far. And, I talk about this because I always had perfect teeth. I had braces for quite a few years, and they turned out perfectly, right? And then I realized that I was grinding my teeth in my sleep. My dentist told me that, but didn't warn me about the dangers of grinding your teeth. And when you grind your teeth, when you get older, your teeth are going to break and fall out. I've had this one, and this one are gone, and now this one is gone. And it's all because of grinding my teeth. So if you are young and you grind your teeth, please get a tooth guard that you sleep with at night. That is one of my PSAs that I'm going to give you every time. Anytime anybody wants to know about my teeth, I'm going to tell you. I wish they were perfect, but the older you get, your teeth do start to break and fall out. And there are ways to mitigate that. And I didn't do it. So I've lost 3 teeth already. I have another couple teeth that are in danger right now. And it is very horrifying. Yeah, Raymond understands. Raymond understands. It's horrifying. And you do have to take very good care of your teeth. So, I'm maintaining. You can't always see the gap, but boy, I feel it. I feel it. My mouth is not the same. Losing teeth is very bad for your mouth. And I even have a little bit of a lisp because of it. So thank you for the compliments. I greatly appreciate it. But it's not about me and how I look. It's really about all of us and feeling healthy. How do you get in touch with? Well, Peter, I have a website, jillbooks.com. I sell my books. I'm an author. I've written 2 books, and I also publish books for other people. I've published 2 books so far, but only one of them so far is on my website because one just debuted, and I want to let her sell her books on her own until she feels like she's in a lull, and then I'll put them on my website. Thank you very much, Darla. I haven't smiled comfortably in years, says Raymond. I'm so sorry. I hear you. I'm lucky I still can smile. He's talking about Anna. He told me, wait, about Annie. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Someone was talking about Annie. Okay. Anyway. I do not write dinosaur books. Although I used to have a cake baking business, and I gotta say, I did once bake a dinosaur cake. All right, well, you're in the right place, Peter. We have people from all walks of life here on the Beach Report, and we are a family. I am a journalist, an author, a publisher, and an adopted person as well. My second book is about my adoption. It's called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? And I do like to talk about adoption, and I like to talk about life. I like to talk about everything. I'm interested in everything. Something else about the Beach Report is that we do often go to hear really great music. Not this week. I've had a cold. I've been kind of laying low. I'm getting a lot better, but I don't put myself out there when I'm not feeling my best because it's just not the smartest thing to do. Hello, Samit. But my books are always, I'm a journalist, so my books are nonfiction. I do not write fiction. Not your mama, though. Come on, be real, you guys. You're funny. Hi, David. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this thing that's called the big lie that is actually the big truth, or if you turn it around, it's their big lie. Hi, Greg. We were told that the 2020 election wasn't stolen, that in fact it was the most free and fair election ever in the history of elections. Now, who believes that? Please raise your hand. Darla got my cold. You did not. No, but seriously, I'd like to know your opinion. Who on here believes that the 2020 election was stolen by the puppet? Nope. Oh, Realistic thinks it wasn't stolen. Do you think Biden was a legitimate president? Oh, yeah, stolen big time. All right, here we go. Darla says stolen. Gretchen says stolen. Oh, Greg from Greg, whenever I see you, you're the one that I always think of, the Thornbirds. Lucy says definitely stolen. You know, Sami, we're not really concerned about how India is faring. We're America first here, so you guys have to take care of yourselves. Donna, of course, knows it was the puppet wagon, Jack Wagon Joe. LaDonna, too. Wait, LaDonna says no. What do you mean no? What do you mean no? Oh, Greg, you're going to get the book, The Thornbirds. Yeah, you can. It's a movie, too, if you prefer to watch movies. And the movie actually... Okay, wait, I got to say this about The Thornbirds. And those of you who've ever seen this movie or read this book, you know what I'm talking about. If not, please go out and get it. You would love it. It's amazing. Susan says 100% stolen. Barbara says stolen. Realistic said Biden was asleep his entire presidency. Well, this is true, Realistic, but was the election stolen? Why did Democrats threaten the lives of Democrat posters who came forward to expose their party's fraud? Exactly. Good point, Deb. Um, yeah, you can't have more votes than people. And lately, the Georgia elections have been under investigation and all of the truth is coming out. So, howdy, George. Okay, LaDonna, I knew you meant stolen. I know you, girl. Oh my gosh, you guys are funny. Anyway, yeah, so I would say that we've got 90% of the people, at least on the Beach Report, who know that the election was clearly stolen. So all I know is I woke up the day I went to bed at like something like 11 or midnight on the election night 2020. I'm sorry, 2019. What was that? November, whatever, 2019. And I was absolutely sure that President Trump had won. He was sweeping the whole country. And then what happened? We woke up and shock and dismay and anger. And I mean, why did Biden give Stacey Abrams $2 million? Good question. Look, we all know the truth. We know it in our bones. And if it wasn't only for the elections being rigged, if that wasn't the only thing that happened, don't forget all the other things. Being told that the Hunter Biden laptop was disinformation. 51 former intelligence officials who need to go to jail like soon. And okay, and I'm going to say something else. This is for President Trump. If you don't call out these criminals, like in the next, I'm going to give you a month or so, but if we don't start seeing perp walks and arrests, I'm going to lose all faith. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's gotten to a fever pitch now. President Trump trolled them into releasing the Epstein files, and don't think he didn't do that. He totally made them do it. You watched it happen. What about all the trolls who would come on my page yelling, Epstein, Epstein, release the files? Yeah, joke's on you now, isn't it? Because clearly, and Trump said it himself, the Epstein files are a Democrat problem. And it is all about Democrats. Yeah, we do a little trolling, as he says. Yeah, Lucy, we all want to see arrests. Like, I'm really getting tired of knowing that these disgusting criminals walk among us and have such disregard for us that they laugh at us and they do it out in the open, basically, watching their Grammy Awards and their protests against, where they're trying to shield illegal immigrants from leaving our country. It's just so frustrating. Um Elle, you know what the secret is? It's God. It's my love of the Lord. And it's funny that you said that because it reminds me of when I would do my show, my husband was dying. And that was pretty much all I had was doing the beach report on Facebook every night. I would go into this little room where my husband kept all his saddles and stuff. I called it the tack room. And I'd have like a bunch of saddles behind me and all this horsey stuff. And I would do my show. And before I would do my show, I would, just tell my husband, I'm going to go do my show now. And he would always look at me and he'd say, baby, why you look so beautiful? He always said that. I said, Ray, I'm just doing my show. But baby, why you have to look so beautiful? So thank you. That reminded me of that, Al. So thank you. I appreciate it. all the cameras in the White House. No one could ID the owner of the bag of cocaine Hunter was tweaking on the balcony that same night. Yep. Dr. Jill, Joe, and wife visible. That's right. Oh, yeah. It was all there. It was all there. We all saw the evidence. We all saw that the Biden family wasn't just illegitimate, but they were like literally a band of rogue demons. Okay, so we had the Hunter Biden laptop. Oh, and then we had the mainstream media inversion. So I always like think about how they use the opposite language on us. You know, everything good is bad and everything bad is good. For instance, they tell us that the election in 2020 was the most free and fair election everywhere. So really totally the opposite, right? And they tell us that the fact that the President Trump saying that the election really was stolen is the big lie, when really they're the ones telling the big lie. I know. Thank you, Deb. I am so lucky I had a love like that. And I'm living on it forever. I don't need to replicate it. I'm not going to look for more love. I seriously had the best love of my life. And that's why I don't want to go there anymore. I'm done. I did the love thing, okay? I did the children thing. I did it all. Now I'm going to do the Save America thing. Yeah, because you know what? The next greatest love for me is going to see Jesus. He's my great love now. And being able to meet my maker and have him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant," is all that I want. So that's what I'm doing now. Oh my gosh. Deb, we have been having problems with people can't type here. And it's been a problem. So I think maybe you need to complain. I even have people who are part of my and you are my membership group can't leave comments. So please complain about that. It's a situation. Anyway, Gretchen, you're right. Save America for our grandchildren. And I'm going to cry again just thinking of the fact that I'm about to become one. So I am greatly looking forward to the next generation, and mine is about to show up soon. So, yes, I have renewed focus in that respect as well. I feel like I have to protect the future for my own grandchild. So, but yes, always keep God first. Okay, so anyway, the inversion of the words, the opposite language. That's what the mainstream media has done to us. Point to the media's insistence that, for instance, Biden was lucid and sharp for years, but everybody who noticed that he needed help just like walking across a stage or from the Easter Bunny told us that those were cheap fakes and that we shouldn't believe our lying eyes. Remember that? Darla always says, "Did you update your stuff?" I don't know. Update your stuff. I think it's not a bad idea. And sometimes you have updates you don't even know about them. Biden on his exit from this earth. You really think so, Jonathan? I don't know. I have yet to see him on his exit. I don't even know if it's really him, because I keep hearing kind of suggestions in the news coming out about the Epstein files that he's been long gone and that was a puppet, or not a puppet, but someone in a mask. Who knows? Who knows? I hate that stuff. It is really confusing, and I don't think it's helpful at all. Some of our children are already lost. I got lucky to have two conservatives. You know what? They're not lost. We can't think like that, okay? We have to wait. It's really right now, it's just a matter of time. You have to realize that the information has started to come out when President Trump, before he got elected, because that's how he got elected. people started to realize that the Democrats were lying. And they were rigging elections. And I mean, they were like really rigging elections, as in, oh, Biden's running, now he's not. Now it's Kamala, and she's going to run with the biggest fraudster in all of the country. Tim Waltz. We didn't know that then, but I'll bet she did. And I'll bet that's why both Kamala and Waltz were picked to run, because these are two people who I'm pretty sure would do absolutely anything that they're instructed to do. A lot like the fake President Biden, who did everything and anything he was instructed to do. Okay. Let's see. There's a strong argument that the presidency was stolen via the legal system before voters even reached the booths. Oh, you know what, Lucy? Don't worry about the midterms. I think President Trump is super hard at work for the midterms right now to make sure that it's legal. And a lot of states are now saying that they want voter ID. Can you imagine? Thank you, Richard. Can you imagine if every American is forced to prove who they are with valid voter ID? That would make all the difference in the world, don't you think? Like, why can't they do that? Why can't they use fingerprint, or they can do facial recognition? They can do this with everything else, but they can't do it with voter ID? I don't believe it. I know, LaDonna, I hear all sorts of weird stuff, even coming out of President Trump, about central casting, and this is a movie, and who knows? I don't know what to think, but there is a very, Joanne still wants to know who instructed Biden. Yeah. Well, I think it was Obama, and I think it might have been somebody else too. I think it might have been Epstein, and I think he's not dead. They told us he was dead and he killed himself, but it's opposite day. So guess what? He didn't kill himself, and he's not dead. If you play by their rules, if you listen to how they talk, you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, when you've got words and they don't make any sense, you have to translate them, right? You have to translate these people. So if they are... Yeah, right? What in the flippin' world do we live in that we don't have to prove our ID to vote? Thank you. Exactly. It's insane. So anyway, yeah. So if they say it's this, then it's that. If they tell you that Renee Good and Alex, what's his name, were super wonderful people, which, by the way, that wasn't even her name, Renee Good. She faked that last name, so whatever. Anyway, if they tell you George Floyd, he was like a savior angel, right? Think about it. It's opposite day with these people. The worst people are held up. Just the whole George Floyd thing, the summer of love with the mostly peaceful protests that destroy people's lives and businesses. Just everything. Hey, Stu. Susan Rice ran this country. Good one, Mark. You're not wrong. Yeah, and then she stepped down. When was that? Oh, that's a thread we got to pull. But before we do that, okay, let's look at the selective prosecution. The contrast between the aggressive pursuit of Donald Trump on novel legal theories like hush money felony upgrades. Oh, which, by the way, I don't know about you guys, but I watched the entire hush money trial from beginning to end. I watched it with great interest. And you know what I came to the conclusion? It was Michael Cohen. That rap BA, you know who he is. Anyway, that convicted liar, he is the one who is sleeping with Stormy Daniels. It is the only thing that makes sense. Why else would he take a mortgage out on his house, not tell his wife, not tell the president who he's supposedly protecting, not tell anybody? I think he was the one sleeping with Stormy Daniels. By the way, he is still alive. Joanne says, did you hear how hard it was to get into the Grammys? They had to have an invitation and a photo ID. Oh boy, those are people who vote, right? Yeah, hard to get into the Grammys. You have to be a Satanist. Sorry. I'm just going to say it. You know, I'm finally super excited to be able to talk about this stuff with the knowledge that I've had for a long, long time. And I was told I was a crazy person and I was a conspiracy theorist. And it's a conspiracy, all right, but it's not theory, it's facts. And we are about to have people just lose their minds, blown out of the water when they hear the truth. It's not going to surprise me. I've been telling you for years. Susan knows. Susan's been right there by my side, researching all of it. Pizza fence, all of it. It's all flippin' true. And the big lie is really the big truth. Okay, let's talk about removing opponents in the 2020 election, as we keep talking about the big lie. Oh, thank you. My friend Joe made this. He makes jewelry. Isn't that cool? And I asked him about it. I'm like, people like your jewelry that you make. You know, do you want to sell it? And he said, no, I just do it for fun. So sorry, guys. If I could sell it, I would. But I don't have to get Joe to make more. So I'll let you know if he does. Anyway, attempts to remove Trump from the ballot in states like Colorado and Maine were seen as direct attempts to steal the choice from the people, regardless of how the Supreme Court eventually ruled. That was heinous, wasn't it? They didn't get away from it, away with it. Let's see, what else are people saying? I might be a crazy person. You know what? I might be, but I don't think I am. So maybe you're a crazy person. I don't know. Susan says, today more stuff came out that I've been preaching about for years. I walked around with a smirk all day. I can't help it. I told you so, LOL. Exactly. That's how I feel. That's how I feel these days. I'm obsessed with the stuff coming out, and every time something else drops, I just can't wait for my total vindication. Hello, Philip. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, guys. But you know, here, this is way more important than what I look like. Okay, so we are talking about the truth, the facts finally coming out. And I've been talking about this stuff for years. Susan's been talking about this for years. We're talking about more than 10 years. We've been trying to warn people, and everyone was like, shut up, you're crazy. I mean, I even have someone here still calling me crazy. But guess what? You're yesterday's news. I'm not putting up with it anymore. George Carlin was a member of the club. George Carlin said a lot of truth. We need a shirt that says, I told you so. I'm going to make that shirt, Susan. I think that's a great idea. Okay, so, when we talk about the stolen election, if you don't believe the election was stolen, I want to say, look at the whole 4 years of the Biden administration. How about the auto pen and the unelected executive? The most recent 2025 reports on the auto pen presidency suggest that the person the American people elected may not have actually been the person governing. Bureaucratic takeover. If, as the House Oversight Committee alleges, a cabal of unelected staffers like Ron Klain or Joe Biden's office was using a machine to sign executive orders while Biden was cognitively unable to review them, it raises the question, was the presidency stolen by the bureaucracy itself? I'm going to say, yes, that sounds completely plausible. Salty's had a black pill stuck in your throat for the past couple of years, so glad to hear of it. I know, right? Get that black pill down. We used watermark ballots and a very unusual type of paper that couldn't be duplicated. Yeah, I heard about that, Neil. All you have to do is look at the total votes from Biden's victory to Trump's latest victory. It's a great point, Mark. It's a great point. And also the fact that President Trump won in a landslide and won the popular vote. And it tells me that the American people woke up. And they realized the truth. So the mainstream news can say whatever they want. The American people didn't believe them then, don't believe them now. What about the press secretary that he had? Oh, yeah, Karine Jean-Pierre. I was listening to an interview that she was giving earlier. Let me see if I still have this up. I might have got rid of it because it was super boring. No, there it is. Can we have her say?
What I know is that he had to work very hard to deal with his stutter, even today, from the time he was young, even today, something that he talked about extensively. Again, just because you have a stutter doesn't mean you can't operate at a high level.
There she is, blaming his stutter. Yeah. Yeah, the circle back girl, the mop head. She is super cute. You gotta admit, she is like super cute, like a rag doll. But yeah, just like right there, blaming his stutter. Did you hear that? Yeah, I don't think that was the only problem that he had. I would love for Trump to get a third term for the stolen election of 2020. Salty. I would agree with you, but I also think President Trump needs a break. He's got 3 more years to deal with this crap. And God willing, like I said, very soon, the really bad people will get arrested and will actually be held accountable for the crimes that they have committed. Oh boy, Pixel, are you a criminal or what? What are you? What's wrong with you? Why would you choose Biden? You know, we wonder about you. Hi, Jason. And I don't know, like the trolls and the crazy people, they come on and say stuff about Biden. I think they're just trying to get a rise out of us. I don't know. Yeah, he's a criminal. Thank you, Pixel. Okay. I wasn't sure. Oh, you're a criminal. Oh. That's why you like Biden. Got it. Makes sense. I totally believe that. Okay, let's see. Oh, what else do we got in my notes? I've got a lot of information here. So, constitutional crisis. This theory suggests that the bad is good inversion was used to hide a vacancy in the Oval Office, effectively allowing an unelected group to run the country for years. Yeah, that happened. Salty nose. Election integrity changes to the law. Beyond the machine and the ballots, the argument of structural theft takes center stage. Let's talk about those mass mail-in ballots. The permanent shift in mail-in voting in many blue states, often implemented through executive orders rather than legislatures, is viewed by many as a way to create a system where the court matters more than the vote. That's pretty bad. And then we've got Zuckerbucks, the infusion of hundreds of millions of private dollars into government election offices to drive turnout in specific partisan areas is seen as a way of buying the mechanics of the election. But, sorry, with the notes. Anyway, yeah, don't start saying I do drugs, right? I don't. I just have a cold. So it's funny that you think about all that money that went into the Harris Walz campaign, or actually came out of the Biden campaign, which was like $1 billion. And then Harris got that $1 billion and she blew through that money in just a few months, actually went into debt over it with more money spent than $1 billion in order to not get elected. Yeah. What do you think about that? Is that a woman who was going to be good for our country. I mean, President Trump spent a very small fraction of that, and he won. It wasn't too hard for him to win, actually. Salty says, I'm a poll watcher, and so is my mom and stepdad, and I thank you guys for your service there. That is wonderful. So, yeah, we have this inversion pattern. We've got the big lie, which is systemic efforts to dismiss legitimate questions about election integrity and censorship. Then we have protecting democracy. Remember that one? We have to protect our democracy, they kept screaming, using the DOJ to prosecute the leading political opponent and attempting to remove him from the ballots and even outright end his life. Thank you, Fred. Most transparent administration, use of secret email aliases and an auto pen to hide the actual decision-making process. Everything. It was the opposite. Biden is fit. Biden, sharp as a tack. Yeah, that was a coordinated cover-up of severe cognitive decline by the media and the White House. You know, everybody who lied to you over the whole Biden administration, they need to be held accountable for their lies. You know, it's like they want the Clintons to testify, and I'm like, why? They're only gonna lie. That's all they ever do. The Clintons don't know how to tell the truth. They couldn't if they wanted to. Here in Maine, Gretchen says no voter ID and ranked choice voting. Yeah, don't tell me there isn't a two-tiered government in America. With the January 2026 Epstein release and the AutoPen investigation, the narrative that the Biden presidency was a facade has moved from the fringes into the center of House committee hearings. That is music to my ears. It is time now to admit that our government has been hijacked by criminals. You want to talk about an insurrection? The Democrats are an insurrection. You know, Mick, it's easy to point your fingers at both sides. But when one side is literally trying to kill the president, you can't, you got to take a side at this point. You cannot be non-biased because they are not non-biased. The Democrats have been on a hell-bent rampage to destroy America. They sold us out to foreign countries. They imported a bunch of foreign nationals. They told us that they were poor refugees who needed help, and they kicked off people who actually deserved to get money from our government, elderly people who are getting the lowest possible money for welfare or for Social Security. And did you know they took these little foreign nationals, I'm going to call them. I'm not going to say illegally, you know, and all that other stuff. I'm just going to say foreigners were put on the rolls for Social Security and paid top price, never having worked here a day in their lives. Do you like that? Do you think that's right? Do you think that's fair? I, for one, am disgusted. Oh, yeah, let's talk about scams. We, the people, have been scammed so badly, we can't even pick up our telephones anymore because we're afraid there's a scammer on the other end. And usually there is. I'll tell you what, I get a few calls a day and they're only from scammers. You know, I won't answer my phone anymore. And so if you want to call me and I don't know you, I'm never going to answer the phone because that's how it works. What do you think about Billie Eilish and other celebrities said in their Grammy speeches, I'm from England and would like to get a perspective of what is happening in America for the average public. Okay, well, I'm glad that you're here because we're worried about you in England. The Grammys are full of Satanists. The Grammys are full of people who are literally slaves to a system. And if you want to learn more about that, look up the artist Nicki Minaj. She is now telling the truth. She's not the only one. They've been talking about it for years. Lots of people have been telling us this, and we ignore them. One of the first people actually was a man named Isaac Kappy, Kappy, who tried his damnedest to tell the truth about the satanic pedophile ring that has been infiltrating not just our country but worldwide. This is worldwide. It's not just about Americans. It's not just about Democrats. It's about the rich and famous, and not always famous, probably not always rich, but one or the other. People who have something on somebody. So, and it's not Trump. Everybody but Trump, by the way. President Trump is the one now who is picking up the rock and showing us all the creatures underneath. And again, it behooves President Trump to get out and talk about this immediately and to start arresting these criminals immediately. He can't wait any longer, because the more news that comes out, the longer that the Hildebeest and her disgusting rapist husband walk the earth without suffering any repercussions for their multitude of crimes, the American people lose faith. And we're going to lose faith in President Trump if she doesn't get arrested, and if he doesn't get arrested. That couple, those two, the Clintons, they're the ones that bother me the most, because it's like they get away with it the most, and they just blatantly refuse to show up at a hearing that they were requested to be at legally, and again they got away with it. And they've kicked the can down the road for another something like 25 days. So we'll see what happens with that. I've quite personally, like I said, I don't think that we need any testimony from the Clintons, because they are proven liars in every way, shape, and form. I think we just need a hearing. I think we just need to decide when to hang them high. Sorry, just saying it. Because that is the actual thing that happens to you when you commit treason. Yeah, Kanye. Yeah, it's all the stuff. Yeah, President Trump, the only one with the backbone to do what needs to be done. And he still hasn't done it, really. I mean, yes, I'm really glad he is bringing it out there, but I just got to say, he needs to do it fast. I still have faith in President Trump. I am pleased as punch with the news that's coming out, and everybody's going downtown Judy Brown. All the Democrats, all the movie stars, all of the really disgusting people are starting to feel the heat. But working on it one illegal at a time. Then there's that, Christopher. I know it's so much. I support ICE. Yes. So anyway, you know what's really great? Doing my shows now and having mostly patriots on, and the people who are trolls and confused or whatever, they're few and far between. So I can see that everybody is starting to wake up. It makes me feel good. I am so excited to have 14,500 subscribers. So that's wonderful. I'd like to hit 15 soon. And I'm ready to see some good perp walks, and I will continue to report the news on this forever. I have been a journalist since I was 21 years old, and I'm not going to stop now that I'm 60. I'm going to keep going until I can't do it anymore, because this is my whole life. And I don't do this job because I get paid super well, or yeah, I don't really, I don't get anything out of it other than the satisfaction of telling the truth and being myself and earning the love and respect of you guys. And that's the best thing. So, you know what to do with the trolls, Donna. That's another wonderful thing. Please, everybody, say thank you to all of the great moderators on here tonight. They have been saving us from the scary people. Thank you, Matthew. I'm glad you're here. And I really, I put it all out there. And again, I do it because I believe in it. I'm not trying to get any power or wealth or notoriety or any of that stuff. I just think people need to know the truth. And I've been around 60 years. I've been a journalist. Oh, and I want to show you guys something. I wanted to show you the other night, and then I couldn't find it right away, but you guys will like this. This was I gotta put my stuff. I don't want to knock over drinks. But when I told you I used to write for Nickelodeon, and one day they pulled me into hair and makeup and said, "Oh, we want to use you in a promo for this show called Total Panic." So those of you who were teenagers in 1988, it was, or even younger, and you used to watch Nickelodeon, you might recognize this promo that I starred in. I was about 24 years old, and you might not even be able to tell it's me, but it sure is. And it was just something really funny that we all laughed about when it came out. I still laugh about it, and I think you'll laugh about it too. But if you remember it, let me know. Here, let me put it on. Wait a minute to get all my audio visual stuff cooking.
Power on. Connected.
All right, this isn't mainstream television or anything. Hold on. Okay. Almost there. All right, I made this part of the video myself. I did not meet Scott Adams.
What happens when grown-ups and kids watch Nickelodeon's Total Panic? Grown-ups grow tense and nauseous. Kids win prizes at home. Grown-ups see stars and twitch a lot. Kids see stars, hot bands, and great games. Grown-ups lose control and totally panic. Kids lose control and totally panic. The evidence is conclusive. Nickelodeon's Total Panic is strictly for kids. Nickelodeon's Total Panic, every Sunday starting at 9:30, 8:30 Central on Nickelodeon.
All right, did anybody recognize that? I'll play it one more time if you didn't catch it all, because I know it goes really fast. But anybody remember that from the late 80s, early 90s? It played all day long. Here, we'll do it one more time for you.
What happens when grown-ups and kids watch Nickelodeon's Total Panic? Grown-ups grow tense and nauseous. Kids win prizes at home. Grown-ups see stars and twitch a lot. Kids see stars, hot bands, and great games. Grown-ups lose control and totally panic. Kids lose control and totally panic. The evidence is conclusive. Nickelodeon's Total Panic is strictly for kids. Nickelodeon's Total Panic, every Sunday starting at 9:30, 8:30 Central on Nickelodeon.
All right, that's it. I see somebody thinks I'm lying about my age. Why would I do such a thing? People who are 60 don't usually say, "Hey, I'm 60." But yeah, I think that was 1988. So I was 24. I was born in November, so my birthday's a little bit late. So say whatever you want, but it was 1988, 1989, something like that. And I was born in 1965. So there's that. Okay. Well, thank you. If I could be a voice actress, that might be cool because I could make some money maybe. I don't know. But I don't do anything like that anymore. I am not on mainstream media anymore, so it's just me. And you know what? Thank you, Jason. I agree. I think I do look better now than I did when I was younger. Because I don't know why, but I think it's a real thing. I feel better about the way I look now than I did when I was younger. I'm actually super happy to be 60. And I'm not embarrassed about my wrinkles or anything. I love them all. And I'll never get Botox, and I'll never dye my hair. And no, I used to dye my hair, but I'll never do that again. So it's your fault that the young kids of the 80s that have turned out the way they are today. Okay, it could be my fault. I don't know. But actually, honestly, when I wrote for children's television, I was really cognizant of the fact that I was writing for kids. So I tried very hard to write things that were good for them. And a lot of my skits were about the environment, or about trying to have more self esteem, or just about trying to get through school, stuff like that. But I love children, and I love to write for children. So. Besties thinks I'm boring, but you are here. So I don't know how boring I must be if you are still here. There's that. You don't have to get rid of people like that, Bo. I think they're funny. Let them go. But thank you anyway. All right, you guys. Well, I need to get back to work. I've been working on 2 new books, and this is kind of like my crunch week where I'm trying to get things done because I have a cold and the weather outside has been a little bit chilly, shall we say. We went back into the 70s today, so it wasn't too bad. But it's okay. You can pick on me. I can take it. Anyway, I'm your comments sometimes. You guys all crack me up. Like I don't even care about the haters anymore because it was kind of funny. So I am going to say ciao for now. And sorry we missed our beach sunset tonight, but it was cloudy and I'm still, like I said, I'm laying low since I've had a cold and I want to get completely better, and enough of this congestion already. Oh, Lucy, it's always good to see you, and you too, Dawn, and you too, Mark, and we'll see you on the beach tomorrow. I'm going to try to get back on the beach because I miss the beach when I don't go to the beach. I'm a little bit addicted to it, I think. There you are, Daniel. What took you so long? All right, you guys. So thank you for the rubies tonight, and I greatly appreciate your support. You guys are wonderful. Oh, there's Anthony. Yeah, he just came on. What's up with you guys? Everybody, say hello to the amazing Anthony Corrado. Maybe next week I think I'll be over there next week to do Anthony's Monday show. So we've got some great jazz on the Beach Report. And thank you, Dawn. I'm a little north of Naples in Fort Myers. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your evening. We will see you all on tomorrow's Beach Report. So, ciao for now.